Hey, welcome to The Explainer. For centuries, finding new medicines has been a bit of a gamble, a mix of luck, chance, and a whole lot of trial and error. But that's all starting to change. Today, we're going to look at how AI is basically hacking biology, turning the art of drug discovery into a really precise digital science. So, to really get why this revolution is so needed, you first have to understand the problem, and it all starts with this number right here. That's right, $2.6 billion. That is the average cost to develop just a single new drug. I mean, you could fund a whole slate of blockbuster movies with that kind of money. And believe it or not, that's just the start of the staggering numbers involved. And get this, that's how long it typically takes for that one drug to go from an idea in a lab to your local pharmacy. We're talking a decade and a half of work and investment, all for something that is anything but a sure thing. Because here's the real kicker. After all that time and all that money, the brutal reality is that over 90% of potential drugs just fail. Even for the ones that make it to human trials, their chance of success is less than 1 in 10. The old way of doing things is just incredibly inefficient. Okay, so that's the traditional system we're talking about. For decades, drug discovery has just been this slow, unbelievably expensive process. It's relied on a mix of brilliant science, yeah, but also tons of painstaking lab work, and honestly, a lot of just plain old luck. But that old model, it's being completely flipped on its head. We're in the middle of a massive shift, moving away from a system of trial and error to one that's all about precise prediction. Instead of just hoping we find a cure, AI is letting us actually design one. So how is this actually working? How can a bunch of code solve these incredibly complex biological puzzles? Well, let's look at two fascinating examples. In one, AI is like a master explorer, and in the other, it's an inventive architect. All right, first up, the fight against drug-resistant superbugs. This is a huge, growing threat, right? Well, AI is basically becoming our planet's most powerful explorer. It's digging through the very blueprints of life to find weapons against these bugs that we never even knew existed. And this right here, this is a total game changer. Instead of scientists in a lab manually testing compounds from, say, soil or a fungus, AI can digitally scan the entire library of life. It just sifts through all the genetic code and all the resulting proteins from pretty much every known organism. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi dream. It's happening right now. Researchers are already finding really promising new antibiotic candidates this way. They're digging through the DNA of everything from microbes that live in volcanoes to the bacteria in our own gut. They're even finding potential medicines hidden in the DNA of extinct Neanderthals. How cool is that? Okay, but here's where it gets even crazier. AI isn't just finding what nature's already made. It's starting to build things that nature never even dreamed of. This is where AI goes from being an explorer to being an architect. It's a concept called de novo protein design, which literally just means from scratch. And it completely flips the script. Think of it like this. A disease is like a biological lock. Traditionally, we'd search everywhere for an existing key that might fit. Now, we can just study the lock and use AI to design the absolute perfect key from scratch. So you see the flip. This is the really crucial part. Traditionally, biology goes one way. A gene sequence creates a protein structure, which then has a function. AI lets us start at the end. We can decide on the function first, like block this specific cancer cell, and then work backward to have the AI design the exact protein and the exact gene sequence to do that one job perfectly. And this is not just some cool idea stuck in a lab. This new AI-driven approach is already making a massive impact, saving incredible amounts of time and money. It's not a future technology. It's delivering real-world results today. Just look at drug repurposing. I mean, using AI to find new jobs for old, already approved drugs. It's a much faster, cheaper way to get new treatments. The market for that alone is set to explode, from about $1 billion to almost $6 billion in under a decade. That's huge. And this chart really just says it all, doesn't it? The acceleration here is just incredible. Companies using AI have taken projects from a simple idea all the way to phase 2 clinical trials. That's when you first test a drug on patients in just 18 months. That's a process that usually takes over a decade. So what's the big picture here? What does all of this mean for you, for me, for the future of our health? Where is all this speed and precision actually taking us? Now, we do need to be realistic for a second. AI isn't some magic wand.
It can design a perfect molecule on a computer, sure, but the human body is, well, it's complicated. It's messy. It can always throw a curveball. AI dramatically improves our odds, but it doesn't get rid of all the risk.
But the ultimate goal here, it's absolutely revolutionary. The real aim is to build a platform that can react to new health threats almost instantly. Think about a future where, when a new virus pops up, we could design, test, and roll out a custom-built medicine not in years but maybe in weeks. That's the dream. A future where our medicine cabinet can always stay one step ahead of disease.